Good evening and welcome to our daily devotional reading. I hope you had a good Sunday. It's raining at the moment here in Amsterdam, as usual. But I am safe and home and warm, so I have nothing to complain about. I saw a breathing thing today, and maybe we can do that. So the thing is, you breathe in through your nose, and then you sigh it out to just let go of all the shit on your shoulders. So let's do that just one time. Breathe in. Nice. Now that we're all relaxed, let's turn inward, open our hearts and our minds, and listen to our man Plato. Socrates. Let us assume, then, as we now say, that the syllable is a simple form arising out of the several combinations of harmonious elements, of letters or of any other elements. Theaetetus, very good, Socrates. And it must have no parts. Theaetetus. Why? Socrates. Because that which has parts must be whole of all the parts, must be a whole of all the parts. Because that which has parts must be a whole of all the parts. Or would you say that a whole, although formed out of parts, is a single notion different from all the parts? Theaetetus, I should. Socrates, and would you say that all and the whole are the same or different? Theaetetus, I am not certain, but as you like me to answer at once, I shall hazard the reply that they are different. The footnote in the other translation says that here it concerns pan or panta the whole time. I looked at the Greek and all is pan, or from the word pas, and the whole was from holon or holox, from holox. So not quite the same word. But I didn't look at the entire text in the Greek. But we do have two different Greek words also for all and whole. And pan we all know, and olon sounds very much like whole, so easy to remember. Theaetetus, so that already. Socrates. I approve of your readiness, Theaetetus, but I must take time to think whether I equally approve of your answer. Theaetetus, yes, the answer is the point. Socrates, according to this new view, the whole is supposed to differ from all. The other translation has it as the sum, which makes more sense because it is the collection of the parts. Theaetetus. Yes. Socrates. Well, but is there any difference between all in the plural and the all in the singular? Take the case of number. When we say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and when we say twice 3, or 3 times 2, or 4 and 2, or 3 and 2 and 1, are we speaking of the same or of different numbers? Of the same. That is, of 6. Yes. And in each form of expression we spoke of all the 6. True. Again, in speaking of all, in the plural, is there not one thing which we express? Of course there is. And that is 6. Yes. Then in predicating the word all of things measured by number, we predicate at the same time a singular and a plural. Clearly we do. Again, the number of the acre and the acre are the same, are they not? Yes, and the number of the stadium in the like matter is the stadium. Yes, and the army is the number of the army, and in all similar cases, the entire number of anything is the entire thing. True. And the number of each is the part of each. And the number of each is the parts of each. Exactly. Then as many things as have parts are made up of parts. Clearly. But all the parts are admitted to be all, to be the all, if the entire number is the all. True. Then the whole is not made up of parts, for it would be the all, if consisting of all the parts. That is the inference. But is a part of anything but the whole? Yes, of the all. You make a valiant defense, Theaetetus, and yet is not the all that of which nothing is wanting? Certainly. And is not a whole likewise that from which nothing is absent? But that from which anything is absent is neither a whole nor all. If wanting in anything, both equally lose their entire nature. Theaetetus. I now think that there is no difference between a whole and all. Socrates. But were we not saying that when a thing has parts, all the parts will be a whole and all? Certainly. Then, as I was saying before, must not the alternative be that either the syllable is not the letters, and then the letters are not parts of the syllable, or that the syllable will be the same with the letters, and will therefore be equally known with them? You are right. And in order to avoid this, we suppose it to be different from them. Yes. But if letters are not parts of syllables, can you tell me of any other parts of syllables which are not letters? No, indeed, Socrates. For if I admit the existence of parts in a syllable, it would be ridiculous in me to give up letters and seek for other parts. Quite true, Theaetetus, and therefore, according to our present view, a syllable must surely be some indivisible form. True. But do you remember, my friend, that only a little while ago we admitted and approved the statement that of the first elements out of which all other things are compounded, there could be no definition, because each of them, when taken by itself, is uncompounded, nor can one rightly attribute to them the words being or this, because they are alien and inappropriate words. And for this reason the letters or elements were indefinable and unknown. I remember. Socrates. And is not this also the reason why they are simple and indivisible? I can see no other, Theaetetus. No other reason can be given. Then is not the syllable in the same case as the elements or letters, if it has no parts and is one form? To be sure. There is a storm rising outside. Socrates. If then a syllable is a whole, and has many parts or letters, the letters as well as the syllable must be intelligible and expressible, since all the parts are acknowledged to be the same as the whole. Theaetetus. True. Socrates. But if it be one and indivisible, then the syllables and the letters are alike undefined and unknown. And for the same reason, Theaetetus, I cannot defy that. Neither can I, but I'm sure there are people who can. Socrates. We cannot therefore agree in the opinion of him who says that the syllables can be known and expressed, but not the letters. Theaetetus. Certainly not, if we may trust the argument. Socrates. Well, but will you not be equally inclined to disagree with him when you remember your own experience in learning to read? What experience? Why, that in learning you were kept trying to distinguish the separate letters both by the eye and by the ear, in order that when you heard them spoken or saw them written, you might not be confused by their position. Theaetetus. Very true. Socrates. And is the education of the harp player complete unless he can tell what strings answer to a particular note? The notes, as everyone would allow, are the elements or letters of music. Let's start at the very beginning. Exactly. Socrates. Then if we agree from the letters and syllables which we know to other simples and compounds, we shall say that the letters or simple elements as a class are much more certainly known than the syllables, and much more indispensable to a perfect knowledge of any subject. And if someone says that the syllable is known and the letter unknown, we shall consider that either intentionally or unintentionally he is talking nonsense. Exactly. And there might be given other proofs of this belief, if I am not mistaken. But do not let us, in looking for them, lose sight of the question before us, which is the meaning of the statement that right opinion and rational definition or explanation is the most perfect form of knowledge. We must not right opinion with rational definition or explanation is the most perfect form of knowledge. I like that. Socrates: well, and what is the meaning of the term explanation? I think that we have a choice of 3 meanings. What are they? In the first place, the meaning may be manifesting one's thought by the voice with verbs and nouns. Imagining an opinion in the stream which flows from the lips as the mirror or water. Does not explanation appear to be of this nature? Certainly, he who so manifests his thoughts is said to explain himself. Socrates: and everyone who is not born deaf or dumb, can't pronounce that, is able sooner or later to manifest what he thinks is anything. And if so, all those who have a right opinion about anything will also have right explanation. Nor will right opinion be anywhere found to exist apart from knowledge. True. Let us not therefore hastily charge him who gave this account of knowledge with uttering and unmeaning words. For perhaps he only intended to say that when a person was asked what was the nature of anything, he should be able to answer his questioner by giving the elements of the thing. As for example, Socrates? As for example, when Hesiod says that a wagon is made up of 100 planks. Now neither you nor I could describe all of them individually, but if anyone asked what a wagon is, we should be content to answer that a wagon consists of wheels, axle, body, rims, yoke. Theaetetus: certainly. And our opponent will probably laugh at us, just as he would if we professed to be grammarians and to give a grammatical account of the name of Theaetetus, and you could only tell the syllables and not the letters of your name. That would be true opinion and not knowledge. For knowledge, as has been already remarked, is not attained until, combined with true opinion, there is an enumeration of the elements out of which anything is composed. Yes, thus far our scripture of the evening. I went to Professor Brian Cox. He has a show, Emergence, and I went yesterday, and it was extraordinarily beautiful. He had many, many images of the cosmos, upscale and downscale, because I think he's an expert in both. It was very moving. And of course, I had to think about that when we were talking about the parts and the whole. And how the rational explanation is required for us to really have knowledge and not only true opinion. Because at times, that's a beautiful thing about science. He would often say, this we know, this we know, this we know, and we know it because we have these experiments, and these experiments, and these experiments. And then he would say, this we don't know. There is a theory, let me share the theory, but we don't know it yet, and it might be wrong. We still need to prove it, and maybe we can't prove it, but we're going to try. So distinguishing very well between knowledge and opinion, which might even be true opinion. We just do not know it yet. The whole and the parts. It is quite a trip the way he does it, taking you out to the gazillion galaxies and then down to the quarks. And Yeah. How rare it is even just to exist. How rare life is. And consciousness. Oh, I'm so sorry, Alex. I can't even say your word. Conscience. Consciousness. Plus, I know Alex doesn't like emergence. But yeah, that aside. It really is quite extraordinary to be alive. And also, I was reminded of the beauty of science and how much we have learned in the 400 years. It's extraordinary. I wrote down bold to reply and Folley. I listened to Folley's latest video only today. I only got to it today. It would have been great if I listened it to the day before I read the whole part about the birds. It's very relevant to that video. He talks about epistemology a lot and false ideas. Well, it's about propaganda, but false ideas and how we can verify false ideas and how we must be open to. Of course, he says it. I will link the video if you haven't seen it yet, because of course he says it's so much better. What I was thinking about when I wrote that down was the non-pigs. He speaks about Animal Farm. Just to give it context, because it might be weird that I just start speaking about pigs all of a sudden. The non-pigs do not have the words or maybe even the intellectual ability, because they have not been trained, they have not been given the opportunity to learn, to question the pigs. And then he says something, I can't remember what it is, what he said that triggered me, but it was not triggered in a bad way, but triggered in a good way. That's related to this, like the ball to reply. Like, even if you do not know, it's often wise to express your opinion when you're in company that could and would refute you, or at least question your opinion with you, so that it might be questioned and refuted if you're brave enough. We cannot, I think I am sure I said it before, because that is, we cannot be lovers of learning if we're too attached to ourselves. Because whether we will or not, we do identify with our beliefs, with our opinions. And if you're a lover of learning, that will be questioned and probably changed often. I do not want to go too deep in the whole and the parts, because I will become quite esoteric if I do. There's a lot playing in the background of my mind tonight. And I don't know how much to share and how much to keep. I think for tonight I will keep it and just say that I think tomorrow is the last day of Theaetetus. And I still don't know what knowledge is. But if you listen to Folley's video on propaganda, you might get an inkling of what knowledge is. I imagine the boy doesn't. Oh, I will have to finish the Peterson course on knowledge tomorrow. Well, I'm going to the office tomorrow, and I listen to courses when I get ready to go to the office. So, and I only have one left, so I will, to make sure that I finish it with Theaetetus. But I'm not hopeful. The thing is, I always have this feeling that I understand things, but I'm not necessarily capable of expressing that, which might just be because, contrary to O'Connor, I heard him say, but I don't believe it, that his IQ is like 120 something, but he has high verbal IQ only. But I don't. He obviously has a high verbal IQ, but I have like not. I don't have. Well, I do. I used to, in my own language, be a poet, but that's different than being able to express yourself on theories and ideas. So I struggle. So maybe that's only the struggle, but also maybe it's just because it's not clear enough in my head and I need to get it clear. And that is a big part what this exercise is for me, to help get clear the things in my mind. So I do apologize for me occasionally, as just now, oversharing. Yeah. Thank you for coming on the journey with me. May the spirit of Sophia be with you.